and welcome to this edition of Talk Vietnam. He's known as the first Vietnamese chef and the second in Asia to have his own star on the Cordon Bleu Boulevard, much like the many Hollywood stars are honored in the Los Angeles Walk of Fame. Now rising to the top in his career as a renowned chef in the United States and also a master chef in the French culinary arts, and after 20 years of living and working abroad, he remains quite devoted to promoting Vietnamese cuisine to the world, and he's worked up some of his own plans as well as a few secrets also. And in the following, we'll find out who this person is, as he's the guest of Talk Vietnam this week.
Dương, Khải, executive chef at Ana Mandara in San Francisco, is considered one of the world's leading Asian chefs and one of the pioneers of modern Vietnamese cuisine. He has uniquely combined authentic Vietnamese cuisine with classic French technique. Using these traditional recipes and inspiration from his native village of Nha Trang on the south central coast of Vietnam, Khải has created some of the most original and striking executions of modern Vietnamese dishes in the world. He is the first Vietnamese chef to get a star on Cordon Bleu Boulevard in California, where famous chefs are honored similar to the Walk of Fame in Hollywood aimed at celebrities. He returned to Vietnam at least twice a year to explore the local cuisine and traditional dishes from different regions. Being Vietnamese, I'm proud of the country's diverse cuisine, he said. I will do my best to promote its quintessence abroad.
It's nice for you to join us here on Talk Vietnam again. Our guest today is indeed renowned Vietnamese chef Dương Khải, and he'll share with us some more of his passion in promoting Vietnamese cuisine to the world. We'll also learn about his efforts in helping disadvantaged women here in Vietnam how to become chefs. Thank you very much, Mr. Khải, for joining us here today. How are you?
I'm wonderful. I'm very, very happy to be here today.
Thank you for taking time off your busy schedule to join us. Now, congratulations. You've just won the gold prize at the International Beijing Culinary Competition for your salagan soup. And salagan soup, that's such a, it's a very, prized and precious dish.
Yes, I think because Vietnamese, we have the best bernaise in the whole world.
Yes.
So we have to represent that for our country. So that's the reason I bring that with me to Taipei competition.
Let's go back a little bit to the beginning now about your passion in cooking. Obviously, you're a very renowned chef, as we've seen in the introduction clip. Tell us a little bit about when did you discover this passion in cooking?
When I was young, I'm always like eating, especially any dishes I love to eat. And I have been lucky to travel around in Vietnam with my family. So we live in Nha Trang. When I was young, I moved to south of Vietnam and then in Saigon. For those years, I learned a lot. And I like to eat, especially I like to eat. But when I grew up in America, and I love cooking, but I cannot do it because my family always wished me to be doctor, engineer, rather than to be a cook. So that's the reason I'm focused on studying engineer rather than cooking. But 2.5 years later, after college, 2.5 years, so in college, so I quit for university, so I come into the restaurant business, and I discover one thing: God gave me a talent that I did not even know that time. So I'm created. This is very good. I carve and everything. I never study in the book or learn from anybody.
Exactly.
After that, so I think if I have a talent, then what should I do? So I decide to pack all my luggage, move to France. So I went to Cordon Bleu in Paris. So I went to that school for 15 months program, like 2 years, and I studied.
Let's slow down a little bit and go back to your childhood days a little bit. Tell me a little bit about your family. Were there chefs in your family?
Yes, my family, we have 12 children member family. My mother always cook for each individual for the way they like it. So that's the reason, and it's very tough in the family. You cook a big family. But all my sister and brothers, they cook very well. And we have few restaurants in America.
Oh, wow.
When we first come to the United States.
So this
and
tradition.
After that, I start to learn from them. And I try to create a lot the way I like it. And my family always, oh, you're very good. But I didn't realize I'm that good. And until I discover I create French and Vietnamese style. And one day on the television and allow American newspaper and CBS, and they vote me one of the best young New England chef. And I realized, wow, is that I good? So I believe, I said, no, I'm not that good. I'm good, but not enough. So I decided to go cordon bleu.
Yes. What did your family?
That time, they're not happy. I make decision to go Paris because they think I'm a good chef already. Just a waste money, you know, Vietnamese people.
Yes.
To waste the money to go school like this because the 60,000 those years I spent in school, I can buy a big house in New England that time. But I think education is more important than anything in life. And I studied LA Français for 5 months.
5 months.
I joined the school and I worked very hard. And for 60,000 for me, it's not enough. So I have to work as a maid, somebody's house, so they provide the room for me, room and board for me. That's why I can survive for a few months. And I said, no, I just want to go just straight school. I concentrate on school. So finally, I finished school at cordon bleu. At the first American in 13, like the first American 13 years, get #1 at cordon bleu.
Oh, wow.
And even for Vietnam, if you can count
Yes,
that.
of course, Vietnam.
And I'm very, very happy. That first time for me to be honored.
As I understand, each, to learn each dish costs $375
Yeah,
US
look at the
dollars.
money I calculate, like $375 per dishes.
God.
That is still cheap and reasonable. After I finished cordon bleu in Paris, and I went to another cooking school they call Le Nôtre, for patisserie Le Nôtre, to do all the cake for desserts in the restaurant. It cost me $2,000
$2,000
a
wow.
week, not include the hotel or the food. So that time I can study only 1 month,
Yes.
and I broke.
Oh.
So I decided to go back home.
Now you studied and worked hard abroad for years. You lived in America, you lived in France. How have you always kind of managed to, pour your heart out towards Vietnamese food? You've always stuck to it.
When
in
I
a
was
sense.
young, or when I first come to the USA, always thinking about my country. Sooner or later, maybe 50 years, 20 years, whatever, I will come back my country. Because I think the Vietnamese cuisine is so wonderful. So variety. So that's the reason I'm focused on study in France. When you go to a Vietnamese restaurant in the United States, they were asking, what is kind of cuisine? They always say Vietnamese and French. That's the reason France is our background cooking. That's the reason I want to go back to France and study the root of French cooking so I can understand what is the Vietnamese cuisine all about.
Oh, that's very interesting. So which Vietnamese food do you think is best known to the world, in your opinion?
In my opinion, right now around the world, people are always thinking like chả giò, like nem, or phở, or bánh mì, or those things. To them, I think that's just a beginning
Exactly.
of
That's
the
just
cuisine.
the tip of the
Yes,
iceberg.
the tip of the iceberg. And I believe the Vietnamese cuisine will go beyond the phở, beyond the nem, and beyond the gỏi cuốn. Because Vietnamese food very good though. I believe it. We have the deep inside of the Vietnamese cuisine and variety. So we can create those things, bring into the market, like bring into the world, let people realize this is Vietnamese. And we're very lucky. I think this our land very lucky. All the seafood surround the whole country of Vietnam. So I think that's the best cuisine we have.
Where would you rank Vietnamese cuisine on the world map?
I always say right now, I believe is on the top 5.
Top 5.
I believe it.
You've learned, obviously Occidental cuisine in the States. particularly in France. And you're also trying to hold on to a lot of Vietnamese recipes as well. So how would you describe your own cooking style?
My cooking style, like people say, oh, you grow up in America when you were 14 years old. How do you know about the Vietnamese cuisine? Because you left early. No, they're right. They have the right questions. But for me, after I finished school, when I opened the restaurant business, and I go back to Vietnam 2 times a year to research about the Vietnamese cuisine. So that's why I use the Vietnamese cuisine and the French technique to modify of my own way.
So it's almost like fusion
Yeah,
in
fusion,
a way.
Vietnamese fusion.
Fusion
Yes.
and innovative and new.
Yes.
In the following clip, we have images and do feast your eyes on a particular dish that's very popular from Chef Khải, and its name is the eye of tuna. It's literally cooked from the eye of the tuna, and it's a dish that he's been amending and kind of perfected to create in a specialty at his restaurant. So let's have a look at that.
What is the dish that you are going to introduce today?
This, in English, we translate like a deep fried ahi tuna eyes. So this is this is original from my hometown, Nha Trang, and they have so many eyes, big eyes. The ahi tuna, like for Japanese people, is sushi. So that's why I try to create something special. First of all, I steam the cook ahead, and now what I do is, do you know why I soak into the milk?
Maybe to eliminate the fishy smell.
Exactly. You're not the chef, but you get. Because mostly all the fish smell. So use the milk, fresh milk, so get away the odor, get away the smell. That's the technique for French cooking. So after this,
Put it in the flour.
the flour, the egg wash. Here we go. So this is the breadcrumb. So we ground them as fast as possible. So now we deep fry them. Can we?
I heard that in this restaurant you offer only 50 packs per day. Why is that?
Because it's I cannot produce this a lot because it's a labor thing stuff, marinate for 1 day. So if we can do more than that, we cannot do it. And then this is the morning glory. We julienne them. And then the balsamic vinegar with olive oil. This is a morning glory. We saute with garlic and shallot, olive oil, and balsamic vinegar. Saute very fast. So now, the ahi right on top.
Yeah.
There we go. This is chili oil
Chili oil.
for spicy. Why spicy? I like spicy because sometimes fishy, like a fishy smell. So go with spicy. Dominate a little bit spicy. Okay. And this is kumquat sauce, like kumquat, like the baby lemon thing.
And all the materials used in here are from Vietnam.
From Vietnam, everything from Vietnam. From my hometown, the fish eyes, the morning glory, and the kumquat sauce, that's it.
Very
and fish sauce.
Vietnamese.
I serve only 50 a day. When I run out, that's it. And each person coming in have only one order.
Yeah, and if
Cannot
you
be
want some
two.
more, come here tomorrow.
Yes, exactly.
In your restaurant, you also introduce, this is not the only one, you introduce a lot of the food, the fine cuisine in the central region.
Yes, in my restaurant mostly I research and study for the central coast of Vietnam, the cuisine. So I restore, it's mean like some dishes almost lost, and then I restore them again and create the way customer will like it.
Great.
Thank you very much. So I hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, beautiful.
I understand at Bun K, which is your restaurant
Yes.
here in Ho Chi Minh City. Now, the slogan of the restaurant shows that you're promoting the cuisine of Central Vietnam. Is it kind of a risky approach to focus on local cuisines in somewhere like the southern metropolis here?
I promote the central coast of Vietnamese cuisine. The reason is they have so many variety, and they're going to be lost. It's a mean like years, 100 years ago, our ancestors created dishes. If we don't restore them, maybe disappear. So that's why I went back to Vietnam, into the country, and to learn from the ancestors, learn from the old people, the talking about the dishes. So the memories and the way I learn from them, and I create the dishes.
I understand that in the United States, you have co-owned a restaurant with movie star Don Johnson, and you highlight that waits of more than an hour are not something uncommon, and some celebs are very familiar diners here, and it must be popular for one reason, because the movie star Don Johnson has brought a lot of his friends there. But how have you been able to keep it that popular?
Actually, the cuisine speaks by itself, the way I cook it, and especially my restaurant is so beautiful. It represents the country for Vietnam, because all the artifacts, all the pieces are brought from Vietnam to San Francisco, and we install them, even the roof, even the floor, even the window, everything from Vietnam coming in. Look like I saw the world, our culture.
Exactly, so it's like a little piece of Vietnam.
Yes.
In your opinion, what makes Americans in particular, and foreigners the world over in general, attracted to Vietnamese cuisine?
Health.
Health.
Only one word.
Healthy.
Yes, healthy and variety, the ingredient and the freshness, and not the reason is when Vietnamese cooking everything fresh. We don't use a lot of oil like Chinese, or we saute, or we overcook on the vegetable. Everything is raw. So this is talking about health. That is the key for Vietnamese cooking. So everyone loves it.
Have you got any special memories of a particular tenant, someone who came to your restaurant and kind of you left a deep impression on them, of course, but they left a deep impression on you as well?
One of the family from Way, they came to my restaurant because the children brought her to my restaurant. So I tried to eat my food, and after she finished the dishes, all the dishes, and she called me come out. So I talked to the customer. I like to, after the customer finish, I love to walk around and ask him how's your meal? And she said, first time she really like Vietnamese food. I said, what's the reason? Because it's more like French. She said, no, it's not French. It's just the technique, the way you decorate, but the way, the ingredient, the way we eat, it left something for Vietnam, for Vietnamese taste, the ingredients. So we talked back and forth, and she introduced to me. She was the chef cooking for the King of Vietnam.
Oh, really?
Yes. And she's very old now. Not now. That time she was old. And she asked me to do a favor. I said, what the favor can I do? She said she regret she did not teach any her generation to learn for Vietnamese cooking, because she know a lot secret of Vietnamese cooking. But now she come to my restaurant, she enjoy very much, and she like it. She know that is what is all the generations should learn from me. So she asked me, will I really open my heart to share with the Vietnamese young generation? And I said, that would be honor. I love to share everything. That's the reason I learn. I learn for what? I learn for business, and I learn to share the world, especially young generation of Vietnamese chef who want to learn.
That's a very precious memory, meeting with, she used to be a chef during the Imperial Dynasty here in Vietnam.
These homemakers in the central coastal region of Vietnam have no idea the man standing in front of them is an internationally famous chef. They seem quite surprised that a man would want to know in detail how each type of raw fish can be processed and cooked. Chef Dương Khải is not wasting any time on his short visit home to Nha Trang City. He spends every working hour learning about the local cuisine. This is something he has been doing for many years across the rural areas of Vietnam. Mắm ruột, or gut paste, is a specialty of his hometown. With his marvelous skills, Chef Khải has added new flavors to this dish, yet the paste still remains its unique taste.
I created. This is somehow like everyone really enjoy like it. So that's why the way I create same recipe of my family how they do, but I put more in the red wine, house wine, you know, like a red wine. So I put them in, so reduce together. It gives the flavor, the sweetness of the grape and the color of the red wine.
This house is where Chef Khải grew up with his parents and 12 siblings. The chef's mom is a wonderful cook from Huế City. His older sister is now almost 70 years old. She still recalls vividly the passion for cooking of his young brother, who has now become a famous chef recognized around the world.
Hồi nhỏ thì nó cũng khó nấu ăn lắm. Mỗi lần mà nó đi học về á, thì ở nhà chị với mẹ thì xuống bếp nấu á, thì ảnh dành, ảnh cho anh làm với, rồi ảnh cũng nấu ăn. Đó, các món nào mà ở nhà bà mẹ nấu á, thì ngày chủ nhật rảnh á, thì ảnh đi chợ, ảnh kêu chị đi chợ và ảnh mua đồ về, ảnh tự nấu thì nêm rất là ngon.
Although Chef Khải is very busy with his restaurant business in the US and being the judge for many well-known cooking competitions, he still comes back to Vietnam 2 or 3 times a year. He spends time here to get knowledge of the rustic Vietnamese cuisine. Now, after decades of collecting traditional recipes, Chef Khải has restored over 10 dishes that were on the verge of disappearing.
I want to learn as much as possible, and one day I will write a cookbook. So like everyone enjoy it, like everyone see it, and then some dishes very good, very well known to me, but they're very small town out of the country, no one know. I want to create the dishes and let everyone know, put in the map. So someday when they go tourists go that area, they make sure they enjoy the dishes.
Besides promoting traditional Vietnamese cuisine, Chef Khải also plans to introduce a high-quality Vietnamese culinary brand to the world, including dishes such as bird's nest soup made from the nests of swifts that his family raises. This is the dish that won him the gold medal at the International Beijing Culinary Competition in June 2012.
Now I understand that you came back about a year ago, but before that you had already come back to Vietnam quite regularly, 2 to 3 times a year to research different kinds of food. Tell us about why have you decided to do this?
I come back to Vietnam. I told you after I finished Cordon Bleu and I opened a restaurant in San Francisco, I'd like to go back my root, Vietnamese. Vietnam, so I learned cooking, the technique, the style, the flavor, the people, everything. So I learned from Vietnamese cuisine. You have to involve, you have to dig in, you have to learn what people eat on a daily basis, and then you learn from those dishes, different regions, and you create your own. And then why I came back because I have the program in Saigon, Ho Chi Minh City. I'm the founder of Chefs Without Borders.
Yes.
And I fundraise the money and I give out scholarship to all the younger in rural of Vietnam,
yes.
Like for people who's unfortunate.
Tell us about, that obviously you came back to Vietnam to kind of travel around because you wanted to go back to your root and you wanted to discover more about Vietnamese cuisine. Tell us some of the memories or some of the stories you had in your different trips across the country.
I have one dish. I learned about the chicken. Because I hear the chicken in Quảng Ngãi very good.
Quảng
The
Ngãi?
rice dishes. What I did is I just I flew to Thailand, to Bangkok, to test all the food, try all the food, and I came back into Saigon in that evening. And I called my sister in Nha Trang. I said, can you book for me one car? So wait for me at the airport. So in Saigon, that evening and 4 o'clock in the morning, I have to fly to Nha Trang. So I get there at 6 o'clock in the morning, and my sister picked me up, and I came to the house. After she picked me up at the airport, I went to the house to respect my parents because they passed away, so we have incident. And then we rode 8 hours direct into Quảng Ngãi to learn one dishes, a chicken rice dishes, and how to make the rice noodle. So I went there 8 hours. And we drove back into Nha Trang for another 8 hours until to 1 o'clock in the morning.
feel when you find a dish that's so good but has been, lost?
You know what? If I find the dish, have you ever have a chance to win a lottery?
No,
That is me.
unfortunately.
When I find the dish, it was so wonderful to learn those dishes. I feel like I hit the lottery.
You
Really.
victorious.
Yes. Because the dish cost me a lot of money to go to France for one dish. So here I travel to Vietnam, fly everything. It doesn't cost me that much. And I learn one dishes and I feel so good and I can create so many things, so many ways. So I feel like I hit the lottery.
And it's also, dishes on the verge of being lost.
Exactly.
Yes. So the fact that you found it and you're reviving
Yes,
it,
yes.
that's also very precious. How many dishes of that kind have you been able to rediscover, or do you keep count?
Oh yeah, I keep count. It's not a lot, less than 20.
Can you be more specific about the different social as well as charitable activities you've done here in Vietnam?
In Vietnam, we are Chef Without Border. I'm the founder, and we did some fundraising money to help out all the unfortunate children, especially girls, in the rural area in Vietnam, like Long Xuyên, Châu Đốc, Cần Thơ, those areas. So we fundraise the money. So we help those young girls to have a career like chef. So we use of the organization we call Pacific Link, and they select all the young girls and come to Saigon, and we provide the money for them, the school, clothes, everything, bicycle, room and board, everything, the
That's
whole
very
thing.
sweet.
And when they finish the go school, that the program for I believe is 6 months. 6 months, and when they graduate, we place them into the hotel or restaurant. After the weekend, they send back the money to help them family. So we have been do for 4 or 5 years already.
Before this founding of Chef Without Borders, you were fundraising to help tsunami victims. And then you came back to Vietnam, you founded Chef Without Borders and started to work with disadvantaged women. Why, particularly this group of disadvantaged people?
Very good question. I want to share that with you. I watched a television at my home, and I saw the program on CBS and NBC that report about anti-human trafficking in Cambodia. And I saw a young girl during that time. She was like 8 years old, 9 years old, and I saw all the children, and reacting to bring back memories of my daughter. So I'm thinking, what happened? That is my daughter. What should I do? So I cannot do anything. So I decide. It touched my heart, and I was crying, I have some tears in my eyes. So I decide, at least I will do something for those children. So I decided, Chef Without Border, I did the fundraising. I asked my member, can we do the fundraising for anti-human trafficking? They all agreed. So that's why we did fundraising at that time, about $150,000.
Wow.
And we use those money to fund the children in Vietnam.
Yes. But how did you get from the idea of raising for anti-human trafficking reasons to teaching disadvantaged women how to, cook,
Yes.
or the program?
Because we are the chef. When we talk in Thai, the Chef Without Border, so I have connection with Pacific Link, the person at the program take care in Vietnam, in southern of Vietnam. So I asked her to look at some children, those all the young girls for us. So we love to fundraise for them.
Exactly.
And then we place them into Saigon Tourist Culinary School in Saigon. So we ask them for a program, we pay the whole thing. So we give full scholarship all the young girls.
Yes.
So have been for 4 or 5 years.
So what do you
reason.
hope to do for them in the near future?
I already fundraise for them, and they make good money, and they send back home. They're very happy. I make few of them. They're really, really happy, and that's all I wish.
Yeah.
So maybe they will have happiness family. After that, make money and marry and meet somebody that be happy.
Well, as you can see, Chef Dương Khải is very, very passionate about having a famous chef giving, his heart out, and he's also giving back to the community. He has run numerous charitable programs, prominent among which is teaching disadvantaged young women how to cook. We'll have a look at that in the following.
Without much time to enjoy his victory in the Beijing International Culinary Competition, Dương Khai's busy schedule drove him back to Ho Chi Minh City. Today, he has a meeting with Như and Sang. These two young ladies are sponsored by Chefs Without Borders, an organization that Khải has founded. After Khai's efforts, these disadvantaged young women have chances to escape poverty.
Em học trong trường Sài Gòn Tourist ra, do bên tổ chức Công ty Thái Bình và chú Khải tài trợ cho tụi em học. Em học xong ra rồi bên trường cũng có giới thiệu việc làm cho tụi em. Hiện giờ tụi em có công việc ổn định.
In addition to visiting the famous chef, the two young ladies were lucky enough to join a quick training course led by Khải. With decades of experience in the culinary industry and a kind heart towards unfortunate souls, Khải hopes he can contribute to helping disadvantaged youngsters in Vietnam.
Em cảm thấy mình đã được học nấu ăn này thì tương lai của em sau này chắc em sẽ đi theo ngành nấu ăn ổn định. Và hiện tại bây giờ em cũng phụ được gia đình em rất là nhiều. Sau này chắc em sẽ đi theo ngành nấu ăn để học nấu ăn này luôn.
For a long time, Khải had used his influence as one of the top chefs in the U.S. to encourage people to join in his charitable programs. Beyond supporting the poor, Khải is trying his best to support poor Vietnamese students and help the victims of human trafficking to reintegrate into society. Most significantly, he's creating opportunities for them to find jobs in the culinary industry.
Tell us a little bit about the outcome of the program. After they're trained, what happens?
After the train and they decide either they want to stay in Saigon or they want to go back to their hometown to have a choice. So I want to stay around Saigon. So we place them into a hotel or restaurant. They work in, they make money, and they send back home. They're very happy. So I asked them, they want to go back. They said their dream is they would like to make enough money and go back home to open a small restaurant.
Yes.
So that was their dream. And I think that dream will come true.
That's very sweet. And that's wonderful that they get jobs after this, because obviously they've been very well trained with the help of your fundraiser, and get jobs and basically head for a better life.
Yes.
Yes. What would you say are you most proud of in life and your career?
The proudest in life in my career, I received an award. They're called like Chef Star in San Francisco. They're called California Culinary Academy. That's with Cordon. So that is for achievement for lifetime. For people who get a star like on the boulevard, like Hollywood Boulevard with the star on the street. So we call Chef Star, and I received that honor.
Yes.
And that is the highest of my life, the highlight of my life.
The highlight of your life, receiving that award.
And me and Yang Can Cook, only the two Asians, received that award with French and American chefs.
Yes.
Less than 100 chefs.
The star on the
All
cordon
those
bleu.
people already passed.
Oh wow.
Only Yang Can Cook and I still survive.
Well, that's amazing. One of the things that you are famous for just saying over and over again is cooking must be creative.
Cooking must be creative, but one word I think, you have to have heart and passion.
You got to have heart and passion as
you
well.
have to have passion. That's the key. If you don't have it, you're not there.
And you also said, a famous chef can't be a famous chef if you don't have morals.
Exactly.
Can you elaborate on that?
Cooking, you have to have everything combined, not only the talent, the heart, the moral, what you have inside of you. Because when you create the dishes, you think that person you love or you care. You want to enjoy every moment. Make sure you cook the right thing. You're not like create the wrong way. So okay, I just cook quick, fast, a raw fish like I enjoy. No, you have to know when I send out the dish, this represents for me. All my heart for this dishes.
Your heart and soul
to you.
on the plate.
Exactly. So that's the thing, you can learn a lot. You can do many things if you have a really passion. and with a big heart.
Yes. Now, you once said that, neither time nor money bothers you. What makes the most sense to you? What is the most important thing for you in life?
For me, one thing in life, I have to say, like, in your life, you always open your hand. Why you open your hand? First of all, when you open your hand, other people can take it. If you keep close your hand, you get nothing. You don't give nobody. So you have to open your hand, and people take whatever you give, and you have that. Same token, you will receive what God gives to you, or your friend, other people will give to you, you receive. That, to me, is, like...
That right? You give and take.
To me, in life, you have to give and take. You cannot like be selfish by yourself. Cannot work that way.
Yes. And that's your life philosophy, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. You give and take. To sum up, ultimately, what do you think makes a good dish?
Passion. When you look at any dishes, you have the passion in that dishes you create, and you will come out wonderful. If you don't have passion, the dish is not that good. Trust me. You have to have passion. When you cook that dishes, you know your special guest, you know your girlfriend, you know your boyfriend coming, whatever. You want focus that dishes, and you love that person. You want creating them. You want buy the fresh food, fresh vegetable, or fresh everything, expensive, or whatever you want for that person, enjoy it. So that's what passion in there. No matter how talented you are, but you have passion, the dishes will be good.
Tell me a little bit about your family. Your wife and kids are based in San Francisco, is
in
that
San Francisco,
right?
my wife is a chef.
She's also a chef.
Yeah, she's also the chef. She takes care of the Anamanda restaurant in San Francisco.
Oh.
And my two children, my daughter 13 years old and my son 7 years old. But my daughter, she's only 13 years old. I know you're going to ask, is she's going to be a chef like you? No, she's not going to be a chef. She's going to be a food writer, food critic.
Huh.
Because even she's 13 years old right now, she knows the food very well. She eat everything. She travel with me. She tests. She eat everything. She knows the real food.
13 years old. Wow.
And she tests the food. She can criticize. She can tell you what missing. And whenever we go to restaurants, especially Vietnamese restaurants, they always thinking she's just a baby, girl, whatever. Don't eat spicy. Don't put onions, scallion, whatever.
It's everything.
No, I'm not a baby. Just bring out the regular like what my dad have. And then she eats, she enjoy it, and she criticize too.
Wow. Wow,
so I know
she's
will be
a
very good.
future food critic.
Yes.
So the passion I can see runs in the family. How about for your son? Any,
My son's
chance
7 years
maybe?
old, so I don't know. He always say when he grow up, he like to be a dishwasher rather to be a chef. I don't know. He might change his mind.
He has the passion,
Yes.
Enthusiastic. What would you say is your key to success?
Hard working.
Hard work.
The key to success is hard working. People working 8 hours. You have to work in 16 hours. You have to work double, and you success. You will get there, and with your passion.
What would you say is your biggest dream now?
My biggest dream is open a restaurant with a cooking school,
Oh,
so I can help all the children. all the unfortunate
Here in
kids.
Vietnam?
Here in Vietnam. Yes, that's my dream, to open a cooking school and to have them and to create them like a leadership Khải or whatever. And when I pass away, at least my legacy is still going on. And my style, my technique, my cooking. So I like to pass on all the children, you know, all the young generation. That's why I told you the old lady asked me to do the mission about past. So I'm willing to do it.
You're carrying on her advice,
Yeah.
basically. Well, thank you very much, Chef Khải, for joining
Thank
us
you,
here
thank you.
on Talk Vietnam, sharing your passion, your heart, your morals, you know, as part of your cooking and all of your wonderful experiences. And we wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors and that you will
Thank you.
achieve your dream of opening that
Thank you for giving me a
restaurant.
chance to sit here, talk to you, and share with you the whole world.
Yes. Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much. And that also wraps up our edition of Talk Vietnam this week with Chef Dương Khải and all of his wonderful stories about the culinary world and his passion to bring Vietnamese cuisine to the world. We hope you enjoyed it as much as I have, and we'll see you more next time. Goodbye for now.